make sure to hit that subscribe and like button.
There
Don't
it
forget
is.
to hit that notification bell. That's not.
Say, gosh, this game stinks. I could ban you, Josh, and it'd be justified. Borderlands 4. Yeah, I watched the trailer. I seen a lot of people complaining about the wrong things in the comments that I read. The complaints on the World Wide Web. I don't like the way the new Vault Hunters look. I don't care. It's a first-person shooter. And before I say anything else, I want it to be understood. I want it to be understood that I'm a D1 supporter of Borderlands. They can do no wrong in my eyes, except Tiny Tina's Wonderland. That's not Borderlands though. Anyways, they don't even exist. What I noticed was that it was about to be a war happening. If you remember the pre-sequel, that they said it in the pre-sequel. About a war. That game is borderline a continuation of what they were talking about in the pre-sequel. No one's paying attention to the important stuff. Nobody. Number two, right? It seemed like they're about to push for a good story. I don't really care. I'm a gameplay first type of guy. Regardless, I don't care how these characters look. It's a first-person shooter, okay? It's a looter shooter. You can't even see your character half the time you're playing. I'm not saying you're wrong for feeling that way. You don't feel like the characters stand out enough. We haven't seen their movesets yet. We haven't seen their skill trees. They could be demonic. I don't really care how they look because this game has customization. This game has customization. They will look completely different by the time you get to the end of the game. Who cares? Respectfully, I'm not discrediting what you're saying. And now let's say legit. I'm gonna buy the game regardless. I don't care how these characters look. They can be stick figures when the game come out. It'll be tough. Every Borderlands game kind of look the same. I prefer them not stray away from what works. Add on to it, don't stray away from it, in my eyes. Because there were people saying that this game don't look like it's gonna be any different from like the other Borderlands. I don't want it to be too different to where the game is not fun. You know what I mean?
Realistically, what you want out the game is an upgrade, not like a total change. You don't want to stray too far from the path.
Do the guns work? Do we get something that's fun to play? XYZ. That's all I care about. Now, can they upgrade the game? Got to remember that wasn't like actual full gameplay. That was a little trailer, a little slice, a vertical slice of what's to come. The game could upgrade so much more before the game actually comes out.
Exactly.
They didn't give a date. They just said 2025. It could come out in December, which would suck, but like people complaining before the game come out could lead to them changing things that don't need to be changed, or vice versa. They could change some important things that like they're like, okay, the community saying XYZ, let's add this real quick. But the core of the game needs to stick to Borderlands 2 algorithm, if you ask me. I think that's the best way to do it. Let people have fun. Borderlands 3 looked cool. The Tiny Tina game looked a little off, and I didn't really like the game, and it's the same look for BL4. Okay, so I'll say this. The look and the play style of Tiny Tina isn't what bothered me. The problem was half the character's abilities didn't work in certain scenarios, and that's what I didn't like. And then they nerfed all the guns way too early. It was like 2 weeks into the game, and they nerfed the only guns. Yeah, and then they redid Ty's entire character. Yeah. Redid them completely and nerfed my character.
The first nerf sucked.
Yeah.
They basically killed the character early game and then had to redo them.
We didn't get to see how the characters actually interact with each other. We didn't get to see actual gameplay. We don't really know what guns are in the game. We don't know if they got a gun to shoot guns. Like, if they don't got a gun to shoot guns, I don't want to play it. Just throw the game in the trash.
I got a phone call.
For sure. Say, you're right, but as soon as I saw them, it almost felt like watching the wrong game. It felt like I was watching Overwatch. So I guess the point you're making is the characters feel uninspired, right? And it's like I said, most of the characters, it's normally their personalities that set them apart. But yeah, I can agree to that. I say let's wait for some gameplay. I say that much. As far as like uninspired, the character design, sure. The story, I think they're putting a lot of effort into the story, personally. Granted, Borderlands is really not about the story, it's about the gameplay. As long as the gameplay is right for me, I'm going to be satisfied regardless. You give me some legendaries that go boom, you feel me? Like, just make sure we're happy playing the game. That's more so where my main stance is that. Am I having fun playing the game? If the answer is yes, then I'm fine. These characters could look like stick figures, and I'd be fine. As long as I'm having fun, I'm okay. And then antagonists like Handsome Jack, that's already going to set the tone for the game. Like that's what I say Borderlands 4 has to add. You got to add something innovative. That's my biggest critique on what I'm worried about. Granted, we ain't seen no actual gameplay. What can you add to innovate Borderlands 4 to set it apart from the rest of the games? Borderlands 2 added the mutation system. The mutation system changed Borderlands 4. It lets you be able to farm Omnivorous and, you know, characters like that. What can I said Borderlands 4, didn't I? Borderlands 2. I probably said it right the first time. I don't know, but Borderlands 2 added something to completely change the game. What can Borderlands 4 add to make the game feel like a brand new game? Grapple hooks. The grapple hook, that is new. That's a new mechanic.
I did see the grapple
that is a new mechanic. That is a new mechanic. But however, how often are you really going to be grapple hooking in the middle of a fight?
It depends on
see how the environment looks.
How well the grapple hook is integrated. If it's like it's one game I was playing, Dying Light. You can use the grapple hook on other enemies, so it gives you like a grab mechanic almost.
That would be tough. I ain't gonna hold you. That would be tough.
You can like grab the enemy, sling them around.
So, but if, let's say it's just a grapple hook, you just get from point A to point B. You can only attach to like environment, and that's what I'm saying. Like, hopefully, it's something more to it. The grapple hook is getting put in the game. I completely forgot that clip. It didn't stand out enough for me. That's
it was only like a second. Dude, grapple hook from one end of the bridge
he just lifted himself up like off the ground. It changed the combat to an extent. That's fair. That's a fair point though. I hope that's not the only thing. That'd be dope. The map has to what's the word? The map has to elevate that mechanic for it to be worth anything. Like there's sometimes when you fighting like even like right here, right? You just out in the open, you shooting, you fighting in a spot like this where there's not really any. You see how there's no level changes to this. You feel me? There's nowhere for me to go. There's no elevation for me to get to. Maybe this rock, but some parts of the map, since it's a linear game. It's an open world linear game. If that makes sense. It's a very linear game, so I can see the grapple hook being useful, but at the same time, can you use it enough everywhere for it to be effective? And the difference is right. The mutation system from Borderlands 2 gave you new enemy archetypes to fight because they were transforming into different enemies. It changed the game completely. I'm not saying the grapple hook can't do that, but I would like to see more than just the grapple hook. Because that's a change for our character. You feel me? Our character is changing. But what about the enemies? What are they getting? You feel me? Like, I'm kind of more curious about that. But yeah, that's a fair point. The grapple hook is new, brand new. They might add a building mechanic like Fortnite. You never know.